Hey everyone, and welcome to I'm an Actor, Not a Therapist. I'm Sammy. So, what's going on? So, first, before we dive into everything here, I do want to say a huge, massive thank you to all of my friends and family that have encouraged me to do this. So, a bit of a waffle. I promise you'll get a lot of those on here. My friends and I all waffle at each other all the time. We don't know how to talk to each other if we're not waffling. It's actually something we've all kind of come to really enjoy. But about 2.5 years ago now, I stumbled upon TikTok, just like every other displaced actor on the planet, looking for something to do during the pandemic. And what I found was an incredibly amazing, open-hearted, fabulous, magical group of people that immediately took me in and immediately told me they loved me just for who I was. And besides my best friend and my parents, it had been a very long time since I'd heard that. And this magnificent group of people that I get to call my friends completely encouraged me to get back behind the microphone after a lot of years to create what I have created here for you all, that I hope that you really, really enjoy. So massive, massive shout out to everybody that told me to get my ass back behind the microphone. Here I am. I promise I'm not leaving this time. So, what exactly are we doing here? We're going to do a lot here. A couple years ago, I started in therapy, and when I did, I was very angry and I was very jaded and I was very defensive and completely living in survival mode. And the funny thing about survival mode is that you don't necessarily recognize that you're living in it until you're told that's what you're doing. Until you're told, hey, you're living in survival mode, and here's another way to think. And so between my circle and my therapist, I slowly stopped being so angry. And I started really rethinking and reshaping how I look at my life, how I view my circumstances, my past, my future. Started making solid plans for myself instead of just hoping that things would happen for me. I started making things happen. And it's been a journey. It's not over. That's the thing about healing. That's the thing about healing from trauma. That's the thing about healing from survival mode. You never really stop healing. You just get to different plateaus of healing, I've learned. Yes, you're not thinking about this instance anymore, but wait, there's more, just like a cheap infomercial. There's more. So you never stop learning. You never stop growing. You never stop healing. And that's something that I've learned. And I'm not saying that it's perfect, and I'm not saying it's pretty, and I'm not going to tell you that it's fun, because it's none of those things. There are days that I have to force myself to get out of bed. There are days that I cannot bring myself to write a single word. There are days that I don't want to film my TikToks. I don't want to get in front of a camera. I don't want to write. I don't want to sing. I don't want to be creative. You know what I want to do? I want to sit on the couch and I want to watch television. That's what I want to do. There are plenty of days that I still have that look like that I just want to get done with my 9-to-5 job, that is not a satisfying job, by the way. Does not fulfill me the way I want it to. I get done with my job, I want to sit on my couch, and I want to watch television. That's what I want to do on some days. But I have learned that even if you have days like that, which, to be very clear, there's nothing wrong with days like that. We all need those kinds of days so that we can reset ourselves occasionally. And if that's how you have to reset, then sit on the couch, pop the popcorn, watch TV. If that's how you have to regroup after, a long day sometimes, then that's what you do. But here's what I've learned. You can't live there. My therapist has this great piece of advice that she gave me, that she continues to give me the first time I kind of had a breakdown in her office. She said to me, feel the way you feel tonight. Go ahead. Feel the way you feel tonight. Go home, take some deep breaths, eat the ice cream, eat the crap food, watch TV, take a hot bath, go to bed. But tomorrow you get up and you keep going. And that, I've learned, is the secret. Not really the secret. I don't want to I'm not giving any secrets away or anything like that. I'm still figuring this stuff out as I go too. But that's a balance. I can not justify, but I can, what is the word I want to use here? I can allow, that's the word I want. I can allow myself the night to regroup if I've had a crap day at work. I can allow myself that night to not be as productive as I should be, want to be, have to be. But then the next day, I get up, I go to work. After work, I put on the sneakers, I go to the gym, I come home, I write something, I film a video or two, I take a shower, and then I write something, I journal, I do what I have to do in order to advance myself forward, in order to advance my dreams forward. Because here's what else I've learned. I have a very, very wise friend that every time I ask this person for advice, especially about gym stuff, if I have to go to them for gym advice, they tell me the same thing every single time, and I love them so much for it. And the last time they said it to me, it really stuck. And it made me keep going to the gym, and it made me find a gym routine that works for me. They said to me, nobody is going to make you do this. Nobody. Nobody's going to make you do it. Nobody's going to drag you to the gym by the ear and make you do it. You have to want to do it for you. So I started taking that philosophy and applying it to everything else. Nobody's going to care if I write but me. Nobody's going to put a pen in my hand and make me write. Nobody is going to sit me down in front of my computer and make me record a podcast. Nobody's going to turn on my ring light and make me record a video. These are things that I need to do for myself in order to move myself forward, because nobody is going to move you forward but you. So here's the thing though. You're allowed to ask for help. Did you know that? Did you know that you're allowed to ask for help? Because you are. If I'm struggling with something emotionally, mentally, creatively, I know that I have friends that I can go to and say, hey, I'm struggling right now. Please kick me in the butt. Hey, I'm struggling right now. I need help with this, or I need to talk this out. And that's okay, because that's moving you forward too. Nobody's telling you that you have to do it by yourself, but I am telling you that you have to be the one that cares more in what you have to win or lose. Because as much help as you're going to get, at the end of the day, the person that you have to kind of make happy and the person that you have to kind of look in the eye at the end of the day and say, hey, we did a good job today, is you. So as much help as, people around you can offer, you still have to be the one that puts in that work. And that's kind of what I've learned on my mental health journey so far. I had a former friend that, would swear up and down that they were going to therapy. They were doing everything that they needed to do day in and day out. This is what they would swear to me up and down. I came to find out through their actions and the way that they were carrying themselves that they might have been going to therapy, but they were not putting in the work. That's the difference. You ask for help, but you don't put the work in, you're not going to see what you want to see. You ask for help, and when nobody's looking, you still put the work in, well, now you're going to see results. It might not be as fast as you want to see the results, but you'll see results. You'll make the connections, you'll lose the weight, you'll commit to something and stick to it. Because at the end of the day, you're not answering to anybody but yourself, is what I have learned. I've learned a lot of other things. I've learned that it's okay to feel emotions. Did you guys all know that it's okay to feel emotions? Because I didn't know that. I spent a lot of years just in survival mode. I have to deal with this event, and when this event is over, I will feel the feelings I'm supposed to feel, and I will deal with them later. Compartmentalizing everything. I did that for the better part of 10 years. And it took me getting a part in a play where my character got to completely break down on stage. And one night, if you've done theater for a while, you know that there's something called sense memory, where you have to bring up a memory, good, bad, ugly, whatever the case may be. You have to bring up a memory in order to convey that emotion on stage. So it was a very emotional show, in which my character essentially, near the end of the show, has a complete and total breakdown. And in order to get to that point as an actor, I had to tap into something that I had never talked about before. And that's dangerous as heck. That really, really is. If you're playing the sense memory game and you're tapping into something like a memory that you don't know if you can control coming out of or not, sometimes that can lead to not great things. For me, when I did that and I got trapped in that and, couldn't get out of it for a real long time after the show was over, the next day I made a therapy appointment because clearly I hit a button in myself that I did not know I was hitting. And it turned out that I had been living in so much survival mode, and I had been pushing so many feelings down, so many memories down, so many, hey, I'll take care of this laters down, that the later came out on stage in front of people instead of in a safe environment where it should have come out originally. So what I've learned, and my therapist and I have this joke where we had this joke that I was going to put it on a notebook or a t-shirt, and now joke's on her. I have a notebook that says this, that just says feel your feelings. Because that was one of the first pieces of kind of, I don't want to say advice because she doesn't give advice. That was one of the first pieces of guidance she gave me, was feel your feelings. And I remember the first time she said that to me. A lot of times if I'm confronted with something that I'm uncomfortable with sometimes, I have this tendency to deflect. So I said to her, she said, feel your feelings. And I said to her, listen, I've spoken to my feelings, okay? They don't want to be felt, and I'm good not touching them. So we're good. She thought it was funny for a second. Then she went, no, seriously, feel your feelings. And I went, oh, you were serious about that? Well, shoot, okay. So I started feeling my feelings, and I started getting comfortable feeling my feelings. It didn't happen overnight. It took the whole first year I was in therapy, I was afraid of my own damn feelings. I really, really was. I even to this day, there are times when I will go into her office and look at her, tell her about a situation and go, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Tell me how I'm supposed to feel, because this is how it physically feels. What is this feeling that I'm feeling right now? Because I honestly don't know how to label it. I don't know how to sometimes articulate what it is that I'm feeling. Because of the years of living in survival mode, I've now had to teach myself almost how to feel different emotions sometimes. And I don't want this to come off like I'm some emotionless, person that, just doesn't know how to feel emotion. No, I know how to feel emotion, but the big emotions I sometimes have problems with. And she is wonderful in helping me to find those, articulate those, and work through them. The group of people that I mentioned at the beginning of the show, they are also fantastic in, helping me to identify those feelings and to talking them out. My best friend is fabulous in that she's known me for 20 years. And she sees me right before I spiral, and she has a way of being able to redirect me so that the spiral isn't as bad. She lets me talk things out with her, and I let her talk things out with me, and I let my wonderful circle talk things. It's a two-way street. If you can find a supportive group of people around you, sometimes it makes it that much easier, because then you have a complete support system around you. And here's what I've learned. The topic of today is going to be here's what I've learned, apparently, because that's what I keep repeating, but that's okay. Here's what I've learned. If you have a genuinely supportive, loving, open-armed group of people around you, it makes healing that much easier, because the people around you who genuinely love you, genuinely will, if you message them and say, hey, I have a problem, you get back, give me 5 minutes. Those kinds of people will make healing easier. They can't heal for you. They won't heal for you, but they will meet you where you are, and they will help you to figure out where you want to go, and they will be there with you through everything. And those are the people you hang on to, especially at the beginning. What else I've learned? Again, topic of today, here's what I've learned so far. Here's what else I've learned. And again, I can only speak from experience. I'm not a doctor. I am not a therapist. I am an actor. You could have some of the most long-term friendships and relationships and not realize how completely toxic they are until you've walked away from them, because you are now surrounded by a group of people that love you. Or you have a fabulous therapist that is saying, hey, if this person makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells every time you talk to them, maybe it's time to take a real good look at that friendship in general and see what's there. When you are in a toxic relationship, whether you're dating, whether you're friends, what I've learned is that the minute somebody asks you to rethink the relationship, because there may be red flags in the relationship that you don't see, the minute they say, hey, take a look at this, the rose-colored glasses immediately come off, and you immediately see the relationship for what it is. Now, this could be good or bad, I've learned. I had an entire group of friends that I no longer associate with, because I reframed my thinking. And when I did, I realized that group of people was no good for me. It's amazing what you learn and what you discover about yourself, even as you're going through therapy, as you are being asked to think differently or something along those lines. It's very interesting. And that's what we're going to talk about here. And I'm going to bring on some wonderful people that help me get to where I am now. I will, we'll talk about lots of different things, both as a performer, as a content creator, as a human being. we're going to just talk. We're just going to talk. We're going to sit together in a circle on a podcast, and we're going to talk. And we're going to waffle. And sometimes we'll cry, sometimes we'll laugh. But I promise you, with every episode, we're going to learn a thing or two about ourselves. Myself included. I don't have all the answers. Please don't come here thinking that I have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'm still learning. We're all still learning. Nobody has all the answers. But with every episode, we can learn a little bit more. And that, my friends, is the goal. That's the goal, is to learn a little bit every single day about yourself, about the world, about your relationships with other people, and about the relationship with yourself. So, on that lovely note, I hope that you enjoyed the first episode of I'm Not an Actor, I'm a Therapist. And until next time, I hope that you have an absolutely fabulous, fabulous day. Thank you.